Hey Smith Sabercats, it's Mrs. Awad, the orchestra teacher. I just wanted to go over really briefly with you the basics of charms, just in case this is your first time accessing charms, or if you are returning and need a refresher. So remember that the website is www.charmsoffice.com, and this is what the home page will look like. What you need to do is go to the top right corner where it says Login, and go to where it says Parents, Students, Members. Enter the school code, Smith MS Orc. Hit Enter. Here is where you need to enter your password. This will be your student ID number, just the numbers, not the letters. And if you don't want to enter that right away, maybe you just want to access the calendar, or email me. These two quick links here will do that. Notice that also below is our news feed. This is anything exciting that might be new that just, need to see just within a few seconds. If you need the Remind 101 codes for each of our classes, you can click on that, and you can get our Twitter and Instagram account information there, so you can follow us there. So I'm going to log in. Now, you may be prompted if this is the first time to change your password to something more secure. You can do that. It is your choice. Otherwise, it is, like I said, just your ID number, just the numbers. Now, this is the home page. This is where everything important is located. Check out this here where it says Update Information. This main page, this is your student information. This is nothing with your parents. So when you go on here, there's a few things I want you to check. First of all, check that your first and last name are correct and that they are your legal names. You cannot put any nicknames in the system. If you would like to receive any text messages, then you need to add your phone number as well as the cell phone carrier. If you do not select the cell phone carrier, then unfortunately you won't get the text. It just doesn't go through. This email is for your personal email, the student email. If you own your instrument, or even if you rent, you can enter that information here where it says your personal instrument and enter as much information. The brand, you can put, if it's Lyle Rental Violins, you can write Lyle or Fishburne or wherever it is from if it is a rental. Otherwise, if it's purchased, it should have a specific brand in there. On the right-hand corner, if you want, you can do your birthday, t-shirt size, all that kind of stuff. Check here though where it says groups, primary groups or other groups, to make sure that you are selected for the correct class. So if you're a beginner, it should say beginning strings and also which instrument, like beginning viola. Okay, so you may have multiple classes or multiple groups that you're listed under. And then lastly, check here the instrument part. Check that your instrument that you play is actually listed and that it is correct. You do need to have mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, some form of contact of an adult listed in your account, and you do this here. Click the Add New Adult. And anything that is green is what they ask is required. You can copy it from your page by clicking the Copy Dotted Fields from Student button. I do not have this listed in my test students file, so that's why it's not going to let me do anything right now. But here, parents, is where it's really important. Email. You can put 2 emails in here, and you can do the same thing to receive text messages by saying your phone number and your cell phone carrier. You can do multiple adults if you would like to have one for mom, one for dad, one for grandma, however you would like to do that. Now I'm going to go back to the main page. Click the home button, and I just want to point out to you a few of the really important things to look out for. First of all, this handouts and files. This is where you can access any of our handouts, such as permission slips, forms, the handbook, anything like that is going to be in there. After concerts, we will also upload audio files to this account so you can listen to them, download them, and share them with your family. Here's a quick link for you to email me in case you forget my email. You can just easily click that and it'll generate an email right away. The volunteer button is for if you want to help out with any event. This gets updated periodically throughout the year as we don't always know what events we need volunteers for or how many and what kind of jobs we're looking for. So check in here periodically and see if you're interested in volunteering for any of those events and sign up there. Calendar and event list, they are both calendars, different versions. The calendar button is a traditional calendar that pulls up each month and has the dates and events and everything. And the event list just has just one big jumbo sheet with everything listed. If there's anything that needs to be collected, you can check here under Forms Collected to see if your child has turned it in, and it'll tell you what day they turned it in. The library, you do not really need to concern yourself with, so you can ignore that one. The recording studio is really big for recording and uploading audio files, as we do a lot of playing tests or practice assignments through this recording studio. So we're going to open that one up real quick. So when you look at it, it has a lot of functions. Okay, the first thing that you see, this is the basic recording studio. There is no assignment or homework linked to this. So I can just be goofing around, practicing something, recording something, and listening back to it. All you have to do is hit the record button, and it'll give you a countdown of when it's going to start. And when you're finished, you hit stop, and all of the takes, all your tracks that you've done will collect down here, so you can re-listen to them and decide, do you want to keep it? Do you want to delete it? Do you want to send it to your teacher, etc. There's a metronome on the right, so you can use a metronome to make sure you're going the correct tempo. If you're ever having trouble with this specifically and you recorded yourself a different way, click Upload Existing MP3 File, and it'll do all of that for you. But assignments is the biggest. So when you click assignments, there'll be a page. There's nothing in here right now, but there'll be a page that pops up that has any of your to-do items. So if you have a scale that's due next Friday, it'll tell you which scale you need to do, any specific instructions, maybe specific tempo marking, and you'll click on that and record directly into it. You can still delete if you don't like your recording and re-record as many times as you'd like until you really found the one that works for you. Once you have one that works and you hit done, save, it gets sent to me, okay? It gets sent to the teacher. So make sure you send your very best before you submit any of your recordings for assignments. This is also where you can check back and see what grade you got. Okay, anytime you send a submission, I will send you comments and a grade if it was for a grade, so you know what you can improve on next time. Going back to the home button, there's only a few more things here. The practice log, this is a weekly thing. You're going to be entering in your minutes every single time you practice, how long you practice, what you practice, and if there's a specific tempo that you practiced. This is really good, not just for your grade, of course, because this will be a graded assignment every week, but also for you to keep track. How many times are you practicing the same song? How many times are you practicing certain techniques? So you can kind of make sure you've got a well-balanced practice. You don't want to be always doing the same thing over and over. So select the date, enter what you did. You can do a tempo. If you're working up to a certain speed, this is great to keep track. Maybe today I was at this tempo, then the next day you were at this tempo to see your progress. And of course, most importantly, how many minutes. Hit enter and it'll start recording all of them down at the bottom below. Now this last bit is if you have multiple students in orchestra. Click the multiple students tab. So here it says this screen allows you to create a quick link to log into Charms as another student in another Charms account, such as a sibling, cousin, or even the same student in a different Charms account. So I know some of you have siblings here in Smith and they are in orchestra. So especially parents, this is going to be really easy for you. All you have to do is enter the school code. Again, that's Smith MS Orch, O-R-C-H, and then enter that student password for the student that you'd like to connect it to, and then hit link additional student and you're done. Okay, so that way you kind of have multiple accounts under the same umbrella. Now there are some other functions in here And when you open up the different tabs, you'll see there's even more depth that you can go into. But this is just the very basics that I want to show you, just to make sure that you're either are reviewing this and you remember where everything is that you need to access, or if you're brand new, kind of just a basic overview of all of the really important things on here. Now, there is also an app. You can search it in the App Store. It's called Charms Blue. And that is slightly different. So the layout is going to look different, and it doesn't have all of the functions as it does online. But the online version, as you see here, has all of the functions, all of the bells and whistles. So make sure that you're very comfortable with this, because we will be having lots of assignments through Charms, and you'll be accessing it a lot throughout the year. So I hope that helps give you an overview and a little refresher crash course. And let me know if you have any questions. Of course, just click email teacher and you'll get to me, and I will respond as quickly as I can to try and help you out if you're having any trouble with any of the charm stuff.